preserve the freedom of speech in this country. If you know, 99.99% of media is actually left leaning, and they were all trying to push narratives to basically silence, suppress, and shame the right side, the opposition view. This was the only platform, not Facebook, not Instagram, not any other platform that we had at this point of time. And all the legacy media was left-winger, whether it's a BBC, NBC, ABC, Reuters, Washington Post, New York Times. Didn't really matter. They actually didn't carry any other opposition view. And it's not just them, but Economic Times, Forbes, Vanity Fair, you name it. Literally every single media that we had was left-winger, and this was the only platform that citizens were actually putting content and expressing their ideas. And I think this his support for Donald Trump was such a lifesaver at this point of time. People like us who are constantly terrified that who's going to silence us. So I think, Elon Musk is the only person who has come across, and obviously you have seen other left-wingers, traditional left-wingers like Bill Ackman, and then even J.D. Vance, coming from Yale, or
right.
His wife coming from Yale. Traditionally, I would think they're all literally liberal left-wingers.
Right.
That's how the mindset is shaped there. However, I was surprised that he actually thinks right,
Right.
That was a quite refreshing, experience for me. So I think, things are changing.
Absolutely.
For the right
And we're all
cause.
waiting to hear on what Trump has to say tonight, as we are tracking every movement of what is happening in Florida. In the meanwhile, I'd like to bring in Shravan, who is going to be taking us through the numbers of 2016 to 2020 to what it looks today.
Well, in fact, it's the battleground state, and I'll try and explain what this battleground state is all about, why we're saying that there's going to be a swing state. Now, all of that put together, that decides who is going to be the president. In fact, let's just take you through. This is the data coming in for 2016. Now, we'll focus first with Arizona, and I'll tell you how it looks this year too. It was 49.5% for Donald Trump and 45.4% for Hillary Clinton as far as Arizona is concerned. Let's move on. Georgia. Remember, Georgia has already been called as far as this election goes. Here too, 45.6% for Hillary Clinton, 51%. So remember, in that election, 2016, it was a sweep for Donald Trump as far as these states are concerned. Michigan too, 47.3%, 47.6%. A neck-to-neck race as far as Michigan is concerned. Let's move on to the other. This is Nevada. Nevada is about 45.5% for Donald Trump. That's where the only state that went to Hillary Clinton at that point in time in 2016, coming in from Nevada. That picture is not clear this time. North Carolina is 46.7%, 50.5% back in the year 2016. Let's take you through the other swing states that we are talking about. Pennsylvania. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, happens to be the crucial state. Even in this election, it turns out to be in favor of Donald Trump. But what did it look like in 2016? 48.8% and 47.6%. Now, will this really change? We'll tell you what happened in 2020. 47.9% in Wisconsin and 46.9% that went in for the Democrat candidate. Now, these are the states as far as 2016. So only one, that is Nevada, was the only state that went in for the Democratic candidate in the year 2016. Now let's compare this to 2020. How exactly did they change, and why exactly are they known as the swing states? That's only because these are the bellwether states that would essentially flip from one to the other. And we'll also tell you the historical perspective of how things have changed in these states in a short while from now. Let's start. Arizona here, 49.4%. There was a huge jump that we saw, more than about 2 lakh votes being counted in favor of the Democratic candidate, that was Joe Biden. Georgia too, 49.5%. Now this was a close neck-to-neck contest in the last elections in 2020 in Georgia. 49.2 for Donald Trump, 49.5 for Joe Biden. Michigan, 50% and 47%. So last time, if you clearly look at, there was a big flip. The flip particularly in the suburban areas too. That too also changing this year. We'll do the comparison in a short while from now. Nevada is about, again, 50% and 47.7% for Donald Trump. Let's take you through the other. This is North Carolina, 49.9%, 49%. This was the only swing state in the last election, which was pretty much neck-to-neck close contest that took place. Let's see if there is anything remaining. Pennsylvania, again, 48.6%, 49.9% that remained with Donald Trump. 48% as far as Wisconsin is concerned, 49.4% for Joe Biden back in the year 2020. So Pennsylvania was one place which was in favor of the Republican, and perhaps this time too, what we saw, Pennsylvania again happens to be that same very swing state which is now gone in favor of Donald Trump. Remember, that's the same place where there was an assassination attempt that was made. So it was largely predicted that there would be some sort of a sympathy wave for Donald Trump. So what has happened in the year 2024? Right now, as far as the swing states are concerned, at least 6 have actually gone in favor of Donald Trump. Nevada is the only one which closed in much later, and that is the reason why it's taken time. Let's also take you through some of the live images now coming in from the campaign headquarters, particularly the Republicans in Florida. That's the live images now coming in, Suesha. So clearly a moment of triumph for the Republicans here, and they are largely comfortable right now because the swing states really moving towards that side. I'm not very sure if we can spot any of those celebrities present at the campaign headquarters of the Republicans, barring a short while back we had that image of Elon Musk coming in. Are we expecting Donald Trump to make a statement anytime soon?
Oh yes, that is what everyone is hoping for, Shravan, to listen in to what Donald Trump will say tonight, and especially important given how Harris backed out the last minute to deliver that speech at Harvard. Was rather disappointing for all her supporters, who are still hoping that something would turn, but far from how it is looking, especially after the Pennsylvania numbers are out. Because that is certainly a state that Kamala Harris had to clinch after Donald Trump won Georgia and North Carolina. It was hugely important that she won Pennsylvania, Wisconsin and Michigan. But the very fact that the Democrats have lost Pennsylvania is clearly proving how they are far behind in this race. Of course, the numbers that we are flashing right now, 247 for Donald Trump and 214 for Kamala Harris.
Suesha, if we can also bring in my colleague Rakshita. If Rakshita, you can also, perhaps take our viewers through what's the numbers in terms of the House of Representatives is concerned, and Senate too. Wresting power from the Senate is another big win really for the Republicans. So it's a red day in the United States of America. Taking away the majority from the Senate is in itself another big win for them, which again, for Donald Trump to be able to take forward some of the radical decisions that he's already announced that he is going to, you will need the kind of support really coming in from the House of Representatives as well as the Senate.
Absolutely, of course, this is coming in after 4 long years. If you see the Republicans have won this majority in the US Senate, that means, of course, that it's going to be very important for, for Donald Trump if he is elected to the White House for control and major of the policies. Now, this is coming in after 4 years. He has managed, in fact, Republicans have managed to flip at least 2 seats today. And remember, this is the 2 losses have reversed the 51-49 majority held by Democrats. Republicans stood to gain more seats, given that very tight races were there in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Michigan. And of course, they have secured at least 1 chamber. That's of utmost importance for Republicans. That is the US Senate, retaking the chamber for the first time in 4 years. And it gives the GOP, remember, major power center in Washington and a lead role in confirming the next presidential cabinet. It's going to be very important for the say in the cabinet, and as well as any Supreme Court justice if there is a vacancy. Control for the House of Representatives still up for grabs. 100 races yet to be called. But yes, given the fact that Donald Trump is engaged in multiple legal cases right now. It becomes very important for him to win this with the
Right.
Senate.
And Rakshita, we are getting more breaking news coming in. Donald Trump has won Wisconsin as well. He has won the 4th key swing state. In fact, winning the 2nd congressional district in Maine. So 2 leads primarily coming in of how Donald Trump has won the 4th swing state and also the 2nd congressional district in Maine. This is a big development coming in as far as the swing states are concerned after already having swept North Carolina, Georgia and Pennsylvania. He is in victory mode in Wisconsin and also having won the 2nd congressional district in Maine. We stay with those pictures coming in from Florida, where his supporters are eagerly awaiting his speech. We also have to slip into a short commercial break. But before that, in the pictures, you see Donald Regan also donning that red cap, which most of the supporters have, in that crowd waiting to hear from Donald Trump. It is Trump's day clearly, as the Republicans have swept red across the United States of America, the 4th key swing state where Donald Trump has won, and also good news coming in from Maine. Slipping into a short commercial break, we'll be back on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top